Grand Rising and welcome to New Mind, where our intention is clear and is to share information for transformation. Thank you for being here. Thank you for taking the time to dive deep into principle number 3. Guys, if you haven't watched principle 1 or 2 or listened to it, please listen to them. They're not in a particular order, just to be clear, but it's important that you get the full picture of these principles. And I call them principles because I've extracted them from years and years of working with traders and entrepreneurs and successful people from all around the world that have gone to change their lives. And these have been the principles that have worked, that I've seen the evidence, both in my life, honestly speaking, but also in the clients' lives that I've worked with. So it's really summing this beautiful golden nuggets in one aspect, so you know, and you can go, oh, where actually I need to work on principle 3 or number 2 or 1. So let's dive into principle number 3. Heal your relationship with money. And this is a big topic, and I'm really hoping we can fit this in one episode and this principle, but it's really important if you're a trader that's listening to this, is understanding that every trade is really a conversation with money. Let me repeat that one more time. Every trade is a conversation you are having with money. And for most traders, that conversation is broken, unfortunately. It really is. Because what happens is there's a disruption, there's a distortion. There is certain scripts in their mind that have inherited from their childhood, from the beliefs they have, family dynamics, cultural conditioning, that hide those beliefs and perceptions around money. So, however, the healthy relationship you have with money, it's going to help you 100% in your life, of course, as a generalization, but even more in trading, because trading is all about those numbers. It's all about money, right? You're always thinking about money. There's a value on the screen. And whether you see this consciously or unconsciously, you're always tying that value of money to something outside of trading in your life, like a house, like a car, like covering your kids' tuition fees if you're married and have kids, or your groceries, or your retirement, or your whatever it is. There's a relationship between the screen, money, and the relationship you have with money. And I always say this, it's important, and it's in the previous principles that I spoke about, which is having the difference between having an abundance mindset versus having a scarcity mindset. The big part in that component is the relationship you have with your money. How did you grow up in your childhood, and how was the relationship with money between your parents, your community, your culture? What do you believe around money is a very important component to how much money you can invite in your life. Do you believe money comes easily and effortless to you? Do you believe you have to work hard? Do you believe money is scarce? Because all of these beliefs and perceptions will have a conditioning in your mind, will have a different type of perception and a different type of emotion, right? Because there's a lot of hidden money wounds that people don't even know, like shame. Some people actually feel guilty. I know this maybe sounds crazy to you, maybe it resonates with some of you guys, but some people feel guilty when they have a lot of money because they feel like they're doing something wrong, because they don't believe that they're worthy of it. And that's why self-sabotaging mechanism can kick in. Listen to the previous principle, that basically through the emotion of guilt that you don't deserve to have this money because money is for bad people, or money brings headaches, or whatever you believe, right? But there's also this ultimate element of fear as well. Like, reflect while I speak right now to you, my beautiful listener. Understand that there could be a fear of loss around money, or even a fear of success. But there is an emotion associated with money, and it has an influence emotionally. Even shame in some cases. Shame that you don't have enough, or guilt that you have a lot. It's all interconnected, emotionally speaking, based on your conditioning and the relationship you have with money. And when you fix a relationship with you have money, and I'm talking about doing the deep work here, guys, really understanding that there is a whole reconditioning of the mind and perceptions around your relationship with money, it becomes a whole different dynamic. Energetically speaking, when you are trading, you are not approaching that with that money as a scarcity, you know? And that's where you start to see those patterns like clinging onto a trade, or like over-risking, or like avoiding losses, you know? That's what that money scarcity mindset does as a trader. But also, again, think about this in life. Outside of trading, you probably have the same relationship in money outside of trading. I know people and clients over the years, they would have a lot of money, and I mean a lot of money from trading or non-trading, but the way they treat themselves and the way they deal with themselves is scarcity. They're scarce in how they treat themselves because they are afraid they're going to lose the money. So they are a little bit, what's the word I want to use? Maybe stingy is a right word to say, and there's no judgment here because everyone I've worked with tends to shift. But there's a way of clinging, a scarcity. It's not enough. I want to accumulate more and more and more and more and more and more. It's never enough because I'm going to lose it somehow, or I'm going to go back to where I was, you know? So there's that scarcity mindset around money. And yes, some people may say that most rich people are a little bit stingy. I don't believe that. I know a lot of wealthy people in my life that are very much have the abundant mindset. They are such givers because they believe they will always have more. They will always get more, and opportunities and possibilities, and money is a flow to them. They're detached from it. They just know that they'll always be wealthy, and they're such givers. So yes, there is some truth to some rich people that are rich because they hold on to everything, and they have some extra bucks in the account. But on the same hand, I can confidently tell you that you also have very wealthy people, very rich people, and I'm talking financially rich, just the money aspect at the moment, because richness comes in many forms, but let's just speak on money right now. They are such givers, such abundant givers. I'm very fortunate living in Dubai. Most people here in Dubai are very successful, especially the entrepreneurs that I work with or the big C-level guys. They have money. Not everyone has a good relationship with it, but they have money. So I've worked with a lot of clients over the years who have had millions, and I literally mean that, millions. I'm actually working with a trader right now whose account is like at 13 million. His actual trading account at 13 million. Maybe for some of you that's a lot, maybe even not for some of you that are above that, but 13 million in a trading account is pretty good, right? And is the relationship healthy or not? That's the work. That's what we do. So they can see that 13 million as enough versus, oh, it's not enough. I might lose it. So the detachment comes in, the patience comes in, the gratitude comes in. And let me not even get into gratitude now. We'll have an episode on that. But gratitude, guys, is the most powerful thing for having a better relationship with money, because when you're in a gratitude state, which is the ultimate state of receivership, you are almost can't even think of lack. You just appreciate everything that you have. And as you appreciate that, it appreciates in value and you receive more of it in your life. You receive more of it in your life. And again, trading, if you get into that space of awareness, trading without healing money wounds creates an endless sabotage. Most self-sabotaging comes from this negative relationship with money or the scarcity mindset. Keep in mind with what I'm sharing with you today is also always to reflect. Reflect on your own journey, reflect on your own conditioning, reflect on your own personality and identity. What beliefs do I believe to be true around money? How was my relationship with money growing up with my parents? Was it scarce? Was it not? How do I feel about talking about money? These are simple indicators that will help you understand that you are in a healthy relationship with money or a non-healthy relationship with money. You know, just taking that into account is very, very important. Because unfortunately, if you look at it, losses in trading, they trigger old pain. Wins trigger fear of losing it again, right? Because it's like a pattern, a loop. Because when you lose something, you feel a certain emotion, the fear, the worry. And now when you win it, because you've had fear past experiences, is why I love to do the cleanse, because I release all of that. But generally, now there's a trigger that shows up around fear of losing it again, because the money is something you're worried about. And it's important to reframe that. Reframing money as a natural energy, not as a morality or an identity, is super important. Super important, reframing that. So guys, again, as I always promise in each episode, I want to give you some actionable insights, something that you can do. So pay attention to what I'm about to share. I want you to write down your earliest memory about money, being it positive or negative. Just write it down. Reflect. How does this memory still show up in how I trade today? So you have to see and try and tie it back, try and tie it back. So write down again, I'll repeat it one more time. Your earliest memory about money, positive or negative. And then I want you to reflect, how does this memory still show up in how I trade today? Then I want you to reframe one money belief into something neutral and empowering. For example, let me think here. Okay, so example, money is hard to keep versus money flows when I'm aligned. Because that's the truth, guys. When you're aligned, money flows easily and effortlessly in your life. And this is super, super important. So guys, the message I'm trying to send home here for my beautiful listeners right now is a principle of understanding the relationship around money is probably one of the most important principles, at least from what I've seen, specifically around traders and trading. Well, in life in general, but because trading is there's always a dynamic of you're seeing money in and out, the numbers on the screen represent money, your P&Ls represent money. So there's almost this encounter, this daily encounter. As I mentioned, every trade is a conversation with money. Every trade is a conversation with money. So remember those important aspects. And then, depending on you, of course, where do you feel there's misalignment in your relationship with money? That's the invite for you to go back, to heal that relationship with money, and to understand that it's not something by choice, but it's something that has showed up in your life based on your past conditioning, based on the conversations, what you've absorbed and observed in your reality growing up, and in the experiences you had with money. If you're someone that's been trading for some time and you've blown up your accounts and you've lost a lot of money, that's a wound. That's a wound, right? That's a I wouldn't say trauma is a big word, but like a mini trauma. Let's call it a small T, a small trauma that is in your nervous system, that every time you get close to that, your mind remembers that feeling, it remembers that experience. And that's why other automatic emotions starts to show up, like fear of losing it or something of that sort. And the problem is, when you're approaching trading as a fearful trader, you're going to make mistakes. Your chances and probability of making mistakes are higher when you're fearful in everything you do, but specifically in trading. So approaching trading with a money mindset, an abundant mindset, is the objective, is the mission and the intention of the work that we do. And this is where I have seen, without a doubt, traders move from making a few $1,000s to making 6 figures. And really, even traders that I've worked with over the years that are in the 6 figures gap and they wanted to move to 7 figures and they broke through that. And that's always coming back to relationship with money and the principles, of course, that I mentioned, previous principle, self-worth. But these are super, super important. And your responsibility, it's a very simple one, is applying the actionable insights that I've just shared, but also taking time, not just doing it while you're driving or working or trading, but taking time out in your day and journaling and asking yourself and reflecting back on your memories, because that's how it's easier. How was my relationship growing up with money? How did my parents deal with money? Was there scarcity? Was there problems? What conversations did I hear? Because that changes everything. The moment you identify it, then you challenge it, then you work against it. And if you feel that those still keep showing up, or you can't overcome them by using your conscious mind, then of course, guys, the work is clear that what needs to be done. You need to go deeper. You need to go deeper within your mind, and you need to have the tools, the correct tools that goes back into the subconscious mind and reframes that and removes the root cause of it and deletes it and puts up a new way of being, a new way of perceiving yourself around money and the relationship you have with money. So this is an invitation, guys. It's a really important invitation if you're serious about creating more wealth in your life, more and inviting more money and better results in your trading and in life for that matter, is healing the wounds that might be there that you might not even be aware of. But once you've healed it, once you've worked through it, once you've aligned it, everything changes. And I can even tell you my personal life, as I mentioned to you, when I was at, in my previous life, I call it, I was working in ad tech. I was a director. I was earning a really good salary, but I was only getting 3 weeks of leave a year, and I had to get permission. And because I was earning a big salary, I was like, man, if I leave this, I'm never going to be able to make this amount of money again, because I'm, that's what kept me stuck for some time, actually, until I realized, and I did the worked with a master coach and practitioner, actually someone similar to my current experience. That's how I got into this world, actually. And I shifted that belief that I can make that in my own mission, my own journey, serving a purpose, not doing it just for the money, but for a greater purpose to help myself create a life of freedom and others. That's when everything changes. And guys, I don't need to share this with you, but today I genuinely make double or triple my last salary that I worked with at my previous life career. And that's only been a possibility because I believed that I was able to, and I believed that I was worthy. And I believe, and I do believe till today, that because I'm putting this information out that can change people's lives, I am worthy to get the energy exchange of that. When I'm helping someone, when I'm working with my high achiever clients, profiles that come through, when their life is shifting and they're changing and they're making more money, or they're becoming more happier, or they create a life of freedom, it's a natural energy exchange. You're unlocking something, and therefore you receive back in return what you believe you're worthy of. And that's really, really important, because it can be in trading, it can be in general, in any part of your life, where you go smaller, you shrink yourself because you don't believe that you're worthy of that money. But once you change the relationship, once you believe, again, guys, you always hear me say this, everything starts to change. I've seen this in my life, and I've seen this in the lives of my clients, and it's been an absolute privilege to watch them manifest their dreams, create abundance, and live a life of freedom. So again, guys, thank you so much for being here. Thank you for watching. Again, if you're watching this, please subscribe to the channel on YouTube. Please give us a like, a comment. This helps the algorithms, as you know, and I'm really looking to grow the channel. That's how you can contribute towards this channel, especially the YouTube channel, but also on all streamings that you're hearing. If you found value, please share this with a friend. Please continue to share the love. Much love to you all, and positive energy.